This is the final Brew Crew territory of the regular season. Braun and Kratz, and congratulations to the NL Central champions. We knew this was coming, Kratz, but now it is official, and they had a nice little fiesta to celebrate.
Champagne is always so much better than anything else than you can try to drink in the offseason when you don't make the playoffs. So it's always good to see them celebrate. You'd like to win it on the field and then celebrate, but hey, anytime a Cubs loss puts you in, that definitely puts it over the top.
So Rowdy Tellez is our guest of the week on Brew Crew territory, and I want to get right to it because Rowdy was rowdy. I think that's the best way to put it. And for some people that were not aware of our frequent Rowdy conversations, they were like, is he being serious? So let's run it, and then we'll comment after the conversation. Well, I'd like to formally introduce America's pitcher. Joins us right now, Rowdy Tellez.
He played for Mexico, though. He played for Mexico.
Mexico's pitcher.
The Mexican missile! Not the Cuban missile, the Mexican missile.
Dude, are you going to be cocky as hell for the next 15 minutes because of what you just performed a few days ago?
No, but I know y'all were talking about paying Shohei, so we're just going to have to throw my name in the mix now.
Well, they've got to overpay for you, too. Once you hit free agency, guys are going to have to overpay for you. Teams are going to have to overpay for you. That's just what it is. But especially because now you're a two-way star.
Superstar.
Two-way superstar.
Two-way superstar.
Yeah.
Like,
and let's not forget, forever, when they say the 2023 division champion, Milwaukee Brewers, it's going to be a picture of Rowdy throwing the last pitch. Not Burns or Williams or Woodruff or anybody like that. It's going to be Rowdy.
Closing it out. I told you, if you needed someone to lock it down in a high-leverage situation, you call the big fella in.
Mm-hmm. Did you think about ripping your shirt off to be forever memorialized as the man who closed it out?
No, I don't. I think that's a little disrespectful at that point. I kind of, if you see me celebrate the strikeout, I kind of was like, oh shit, we're up by a couple touchdowns, and I was like, that's not good. I kind of did it, and I was like, yeah, oh wait,
yeah. Do you feel like if you're in a heated arbitration battle in the offseason, this could be your secret weapon? Yeah, we'll give you the clip so you could show it on your phone and say, oh, well, hold up. You might think you have the edge right now in this ARB hearing, but I do have one more card left up my sleeve.
No, yeah, I already told her after the game. I told our GM, I was like, hey man, paycheck just went up a couple pesos, buddy. We're talking big dollars now. And he kind of looked at me, and I was like, dude, I'm being dead serious. Like I'm taking this with me. It helps out my WAR. Not that my WAR was good at all this year, but
yeah, but overall, that matters.
Yeah.
It's all about putting in the work for the team. Did
either of you guys ever pitch in the big leagues?
Stop. Hey,
I was good. They didn't ask good players to pitch.
No. They don't ask. They asked the 26th man on the roster. So I'm not saying that's where you're at right now, Rowdy. But I had a lot of outings, and I'm telling you, they weren't asking you to pitch last year when you had 30 pumps. Okay, guy.
Yeah, it was a serious question. It wasn't me being sarcastic.
Okay, well, this is me being serious then. You're still 2 behind me on career punch-outs, okay? Oh,
yeah, wow. You kind of reared back for those.
That was a changeup, dog. Absolute split. See ya. Didn't even see it. That's an all-star Brandon Belt. Only year he's an all-star. I struck him out. And I got him to sign that ball. Did you get De La Cruz to sign that ball? Or Sanchez, whoever hit that, struck out?
No, I was going to send him a little gift certificate to the local batting cage, but I felt like that would cross the line too.
I'm just mad. Hey, I'm mad at Rowdy because I tweeted at him after his performance, and he didn't respond, one. And then, man, I even threw in a zinger in there. I can't even imagine, dude, that 57-mile-an-hour slot ball, you thought I would hit that thing so far in Miami? I would have hit off the damn third deck up there in right field at 57 mile an hour. Get that junk out of here. At least Kratz was like 85.
I don't have social media.
I was gonna say he's not on Twitter.
I don't know. There was an at Rowdy Tellez, so there's somebody's got it.
I mean,
some dude got
my agents. They're just like random. Like they're saved. I think my agents have them, but yeah, I don't use social media. But I don't think you would have.
See,
I really don't. Which one is it?
No, I didn't even make the cut on my own show. It's amazing.
Look at MLB
Yeah,
Mexico.
you're not that good.
Look at MLB Mexico tweeting at you.
Yeah, dude, it's because I'm in
En la
Spanish, too.
lomita? Do you even know what en la lomita means?
No, the.
the
read it.
bonita.
That was pretty. No, it was pretty cool because I thought I was going to go in for Santana, and then Council's like, "No, dude, we need to bring the big guns in," and I was like, "All right, I'm ready." But
Had
you
been
guys have played
talking
in
about
Miami. I
this?
ran up and down those stairs, and I was exhausted coming back.
That's how you got loose.
When did you
Yeah.
learn this was going to happen? And had you talked about this at some point during the season to say, "Hey, Skip, I'm ready"?
Well, in spring training, Murph, I was taking early word ground balls, and Murph was like at second base trying to catch him. And I was like, "Murph, dude, they move a lot." And he was like, "No, they don't." I was like, "No, dude, I don't know how to throw a straight baseball. They're either going to cut or they're going to sink really bad." And the first one I threw, like, I thought I was going to blow out his quad, but he caught it. And I was like, "Dude, no way." And he was like, "Yeah, I was an athlete once too." And I was like, "Dude, this is some real stuff. You get me on the bump, it's going to move." And so, like, for a while, I was advocating it in blowouts, but we had Brasso throw in. And then this year, towards the end, he was like, "Hey, you might actually get the pitch on one of these." So then I was like, no way, it's not going to happen. And then, like you said, 26 man, and I was like, hey, he was like, "Hey, you're going to pitch." This is in the seventh. He's like, "You're going to pitch the ninth." I ran up and grabbed Wade's glove, and I sat on the bench, locked in. Like I wanted all of it. I was prepared.
Nobody talked to you, Status?
Nope. I did bullpen one of our pitching coaches came over, and I was like, "Hey, man, I'm locked in. Leave me alone."
Did you think about did you think about running out to the bullpen to warm up and then having to run back in, or did your fingers start to twitch, getting afraid you would get it stuck in the fence going into the bullpen?
So that joke was made too, so don't think you're original. I did ask if I could go out to the bullpen, and Murph was like, "Do whatever you want. I don't care." And then I thought, like, more the integrity of the game. I was like, "Dude, it looked pretty bad when you're up that much, like, running out of the bullpen." And then one of our players was like, "Hey, you can't go anywhere near the outfield grass or the fences. Nowhere near them." And I was like,
Was
"Yeah,
it Burns?
maybe I'll just come out. I'll come out of the dugout."
Was it Burns?
No, it was not Burns. He's not that funny.
He's pretty funny, and he definitely has a plethora of Rowdy Tellez jokes.
He likes it, but he's really quiet in the clubhouse. I actually talked to him about this the other day on the bus. I was like, "Hey, how come everybody thinks you're like quiet and kind of like mean?" And he was like, "I don't know." And I'm like, "But you talk to me. Everybody comes up to me and they're like, 'Hey, does Burns talk?' I'm like, 'Yeah, he talks to me every day.'" So that's just an easy person to talk to, you know. But Burns, he sometimes is scary. He was the last person to introduce himself to me when I got traded over. Like, it was like 4 days later.
Because he wasn't playing the other 4 days.
Did you go over
once a week?
Did he go over scouting reports before he went into the game? Did you have the iPad out? Were you like watching video to hitters?
I threw in the cage. Like, I got up there, I ran up into the cage, and I threw. Come and set, sliders, changeups. So I got down there, and I was like, "Hey," I was like, "Can I throw fastballs? How hard can I throw?" And Counts was like, "You're just going to throw, like, pitches. Just try and throw them down the middle, get outs, get over this." And I said, "Well, let me throw, like, cutters and sliders and curveballs." And he goes, "No." I said, "Can I rear back for one?" He goes, "No." So I semi-reared back for one and got 71. And I was like, "You know what? That's a lot. That's fast. That's a hard pitch." And I almost blew it by him. He fouled it off. But it was pretty cool, the pitch. I got the ball and everything. They made a big deal. They let me spin the wheel after the game for pitcher of the game. So I'm the only guy this year to do that, to spin as a hitter and as a pitcher.
So what is that? Take us through the spinning the wheel.
It's just like a little celebration thing. Like, player of the game gets it. Pitcher, you get a pitcher of the game, you get a hitter of the game. Then they do rock paper scissors for it, and whoever wins that gets a spin. You can get a free pair of shoes. We had a signed basketball on there. We had like dinner at Carnivore. We have a bunch of things like that, like that you win as a player, and then get to have whatever it is. Like, one is we have our strength coach has a big beard, like a huge one, and it was shave his beard for the playoffs, and somebody landed on it like a week ago, so he's got to shave his beard.
Come on, he's seriously going to shave it?
Yeah.
Kratz would have played so much better if there was a spin the wheel.
No doubt.
Yeah.
Like if there's a spin the wheel, like I love playing spin the wheel games just here at the house.
We have a jackpot too. Like it's $100. We've hit it like 2 or 3 times this year. Yelich was the first person to hit it, so
shocker. Rich get richer.
Yeah, I didn't pay him. But it's $2,600. It is, everybody puts in $100, and then there's like other ones where everybody owes you 20, or we have one that Murph pays the player $20 he hasn't paid yet.
Come on.
Yeah, he won't pay anybody.
You have to pay. You have to pay your $100, and you can't talk about Murph not paying his $20. You got to pay.
I didn't pay it to Yelly. I paid it to the rest of the people.
Yelly's a person. Yelly's got future kids. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
He's a different tax bracket person. So
yeah, he is.
Oh, so you were saving him money because you give him $100 and he'd have to pay 40 of it to taxes?
Probably.
Yeah. Well, as I wasn't there for, but as Ryan Brown would say, he'd say 100 is change. So Yelly said, "I don't take change."
That is definitely Bronny's. That is definitely
So,
Yelly can't make he can't take Bronny's quotes. But who carries this wheel around? Who carries the wheel of what do you call it? Player of the game wheel?
Yeah, I don't know what we call it, but a rookie. It depends on who has the least amount of service time at that time. Kind of gets passed around. But it's been cool. We needed something to start at the beginning of the year, and that's what we did.
That's awesome.
Rowdy, how's Josh Donaldson?
He's been good. Everybody knows that JD can be a little over the top.
That's why I asked.
No, he's been good. He has been. Not a very good cribbage player, I'll tell you that. He likes to play. He likes to gamble, so I'm all in on him. But he's been good. He's been a good spark plug. He's been helping us out as young players too, like keeping guys like ready, understanding. He's a pro. He's been doing it for a long time. He's an MVP. So you just kind of watch him what he does, and he's been nothing like what you expected, and what I've seen from the young JD.
You seem like more of a Budweiser guy.
Relax, Bud Light. You scream it. No, I don't drink. We've been over this.
You don't drink?
I don't drink. I eat my sorrows away.
Since when? Because you were talking about tequila in
WBC.
WBC, yeah.
Yeah, season. I don't drink during the season. That was spring training.
It's not the season. You guys are clinching. The rest of the games don't matter. You're going to get a ton of playing time the rest of the games.
That's true. That is true.
Yeah, you're right.
So
you're right. I probably will. I'll probably play a lot more.
So one time when we clinched with the Yankees, Tommy Canely, we were in Toronto and they had plastic all over the clubhouse floor, and so it catches all the beer. Tommy Canely was doing slip and slide through the beer.
Hey, Rowdy, I celebrated with Contreras one time, 2016 Gulf Coast League champions. He was about 17 years old, so, man, that dude can drink some sparkling grape juice like nobody's business.
Yeah, I wouldn't. He's a little bit older now, so I hope it's not sparkling grape juice, but I'm glad you clinched somewhere.
Hey now. I got the big one. You don't have that yet. You don't have the right.
I was just saying, I'm glad you clinched somewhere. Didn't say.
He was just building you up. Yeah. Don't take
a Gulf Coast League. We rehabbing?
Yeah, we're allowed.
I mean, I was on the fake IL, so
he was on the
Oh, that was the Phantom days.
So they threw me down to Orlando where they were, and they're like, "Yeah, go live at home for 2 weeks." Oh yeah, go play 2 games. It just so happened the 2 games I played in were the Gulf Coast League something championship, and we won, and we got to and I went to the clubhouse guy. I go, "We celebrating this thing?" And he goes, "Well, these kids are all 17 years old." I go, "Well, let's get some grape juice or something." So we went and bought bottles of sparkling grape juice, and we sprayed it all over the field.
Yeah, I assume you didn't pay for that. That was just too much for you.
No, actually, I did.
Probably
but
made
thanks.
them go do it.
My name.
You strike me as a guy that buys Outback for spread.
No,
I would just.
Yeah.
I only bought 2 spreads in my life. One was Joe's Crab because I was in Norfolk, and the other one was Cracker Barrel. The 2 I've ever bought. Because I didn't get hurt.
Yeah, I've only been on 2 rehab assignments too. It's cool. You might have played for a tad longer, but you know what, dude? You can have your flowers. You can There you go. You played for like 16 years, whatever it was. It was
19.
easier. It was
19.
easier back then. But yeah. Good for
Hey,
you,
but you
dude.
know
I'm
what?
proud of you.
I'm proud of you because I never pitched.
Yeah. I mean, some of us are heroes, and you look up to me. It's fine. You can just say it out loud.
I do. You're my hero. You know that song? There goes my hero. That's you.
Thanks, dude. You know what? That means a lot for me. Maybe I'll ask you to sign something so I can put it on my wall.
Yeah. You're gonna have to pay
Yeah.
me.
No, I only have Hall of Famers on the wall.
Or
It's
wait in
cool. Don't worry
line.
about it.
Or wait in line.
There's no line for you.
All right, Brew Crew Territory fans, if you want to look as cool as Rowdy or as Eric Kratz, right here, right now, Shady Rays coming at you.
My future's so bright, I wear sunglasses inside.
They're better outside, okay? I recommend them for outdoor use, but you can gear up for the season with quality shades built to last, and they have you covered with premium polarized sunglasses that won't break the bank. And if you lose or you break a pair, even on day one, which I have a problem with, they told us they'll send you a brand new pair, no questions asked, so you can wear them with confidence. And also, they do a lot within the community. There are many reasons why they are teamed up with the Foul Territory and Brew Crew Territory crew. Yes. And this is how Eric Kratz backs me up, just looking cool next to me. And exclusively for our listeners, you can go to shadyrays.com and use the code FOUL, FOUL, all caps, for 50% off 2+ pairs of polarized sunglasses. It's their best deal of the season. Try for yourself the shades, rated 5 stars by over 250,000 people. Kratz, you nailed that.
Is Freddie P okay? I heard he was sick the other day.
Yeah, he's feeling a little bit better. We had like a little thing sweep through, but he's doing good. You know, the Miami flu, it's tough when you're staying in that Ritz.
Tough living. Hey, Rowdy, have you ever played Immaculate Grid? Have we talked about this?
I was on it for a split second when we were in playing the Mets because I had it on paper, and I didn't really know that this was a thing. I thought it was a Mets only, and then after those 4 days, I just never did it again.
Wait, they had the Immaculate Grid on paper?
Yeah, the Mets would print it off.
And
For
then
the
you
visitors?
and then you would write it in? Then you would write
Yeah,
it
that's
in and
on-
you didn't get your percentage or anything?
Yeah, so I didn't know that was the thing. Like, I didn't know there was a percentage. So, like, I was putting in, like, the most – then I was doing it. I was like, dude, this is easy. Like, if you're a baseball mind, you can figure this out. I was like, this
You
is
thought it was
easy.
like a
And
cross. They printed it out like a crossword. You didn't know there was
Yes.
numbers attached to it.
There was Sudoku, then there was crossword, then there was Immaculate Grid. And it was
The
like,
Mets put that in the visiting clubhouse?
yeah.
heard of
And I was like, oh, dude, this is crazy. Like, reading it all, I'm like, oh, I could figure all these out. Like, God. But then the sad part was there was guys on our team, and it's the younger generation of baseball.
Yep.
Didn't know who players were. Like, couldn't figure out who played for each team. Couldn't, like, and I was like, you guys are brutal. Or, like, who had 40-plus homers for a team. And I was like, come on, guys. We got it.
Like they never watched baseball.
Also, they're handing out paper
Yeah.
to
people on
Gen
their
Zers?
phones. Yeah.
Yeah.
They
also look at
probably
a pen
touch
and-
it. They're like, what
pen
is
and paper.
this? What is
Yeah,
this?
they
Is
look
this
at it and they're like, dude, never seen this.
right? They're probably like, is this
They're
what I put
expanding it.
my cup on? Like,
Yeah.
to protect the table?
Is this
a
a
table
cup?
mat?
Is this what I put my Stanley on?
Yeah. Me and JD were playing cribbage in Miami, and Sophia, our on-field reporter, she came up and she was like, oh, JD, did you learn how to play cribbage while you were playing, or like Rowdy, like through when he was younger in family? And he was like, oh, we didn't have phones back when I came up. You know, that wasn't really a thing. And so you had to learn how to play cards, and you played in the clubhouse. And I was like, that's a good point. You ask a lot of these guys that do stuff, or you look at them, it's straight to the phone.
What? Text me
Yeah.
about it, Rowdy. What's the one piece of trash talk that you put on your first piece of trash talk that you put on JD when you saw him, or when you felt comfortable that he wasn't going to beat you up?
I wasn't scared of him to start with.
You're a little scared of him.
I absolutely was not. He walked in the clubhouse. He walked in the clubhouse and walked straight by, and I was like, hey, with a couple other words after that. I was like, when you walk in the clubhouse, you introduce yourself to your new teammates. And he goes, everybody knows who I am. And then goes, all
That's
right.
good.
And then I was like, yeah, hey. And then when you see a former teammate, you say what's up. And he was like, hey, are you on the seafood diet? And I was like, yeah, good one. Seafood, eat food. Beat you to it. Fuck off. So that's how we started, and it's been perfectly fine.
Do you think he has a chip on his shoulder because of coming from the Yankees, and the Yankees are not going to be in the playoffs, and obviously he didn't play his best at times there, but now he gets to be in the playoffs and maybe be a hero?
I think that would be a chip for anybody. I definitely hope it is. I mean, he's a really good player, former MVP. So, like, if you can have any kind of advantage mentally, that would be huge. And he is playing good baseball for us. He really is. He's having big at bats, good at bats. He's great in the clubhouse for everybody. So it's a really good guy to have in the clubhouse, especially when you have another veteran hitter in there. With Mark and Santana and these guys that are playing really good ball after we acquired him. So it's nice to have stuff like that going on. AJ, I'm glad I went easy on you today. I know you're probably in your fields nowadays, getting older and stuff. So, but I just want you to know, man, I'm always proud of you. I'm happy for you.
Thanks, Rowdy. Just don't ever forget how deep I would have taken you if you'd have thrown your slop up there to me.
It's fine. It's what you were used to.
It's my bat speed. That's my bat speed.
That's the era he played in. Is that what you're saying?
That'd be good.
AJ played when guys were just throwing cutters and sinkers. Is that what you're saying?
I mean, 88 sinker slider, every guy. I mean, what do you want? Down and away. Shoot him to left.
Yeah, wasn't Rowdy the one who said
steroids
through dumpy cutters?
Yeah. Rowdy said Babe Ruth through dumpy cutters.
He did, and then he crushed a couple dogs, threw down some brews, and called it a day.
And he was the best player ever for a long time.
AJ was facing guys that were garbage men in the offseason.
Have fun on that division crown. We'll talk to you after that.
Enjoy your Cy Young Award.
Thanks, man. At least I got a vote for one.
Okay, so clearly, Kratz, we have a controversy. Rowdy Tellez and Josh Donaldson hate each other. Donaldson comes into the clubhouse, and everyone hates him, and Yankee Nation was freaking out, but there is some bitterness about how his tenure went in New York, and I guess that carried over to Milwaukee. I've actually spoken to a few people around the game since, and they said, hey, like one person gave me a real good answer. He was like, Donaldson in the past sometimes was a pain in the ass. He has totally mellowed out, and they were like, the last couple teams he's been with, they were like, they really like him. So they're like, fuck off, and obviously him and Rowdy like to talk trash, and then they danced and partied and acted like they've known each other, almost like stepbrother status. It's like the two stepbrothers on the Milwaukee Brewers. Did you feel that?
Oh, totally felt that. And like, this is the glimpse. This is what this show brings, a glimpse into the clubhouse. Okay. So when you get a glimpse in the clubhouse, don't bring your narrative in there like, oh yeah, Josh Donaldson, he's a jerk. He said everybody needs to know who I am already. Stop. It was Rowdy busting balls, JD busting them right back, and they play cribbage together. They play games together in the clubhouse. Like, stop with that and take it from me, somebody who's played for the Brewers and the Yankees. People don't hate Josh Donaldson. I have asked guys from both sides, and they do not hate Josh Donaldson. That is not a thing. The reason Yankee fans are mad is because Josh Donaldson's hit a couple dingers since he's been to the Brewers. Oh, and they're going to the playoffs. So, yeah, pump the brakes on that.
Also, be mad at your GM for making that trade, if anything. It was a bad trade. Didn't work out for them.
It wasn't as bad, but we won't discuss Yankee things on Brew Crew because
that's true.
I think there's still value with JD, and I think the value in the glove actually showed more value last year than Gio Urshela, who they traded over to the Twins in the original trade. But again, there's some value there for the Brewers. For the Yankees, they didn't get much out of it.
All right, Kratz. So this is where things get interesting. The Brewers play the Cubs to end the season. They can end their season, but the Cubs are kind of crumbling here at the end of the year, and Marlins still playing decent ball. Would you rather play the Cubs or the Marlins? I would rather play the Cubs. I feel confident in that right now. If I'm Milwaukee, I would rather play the Cubs. I feel like they match up better against them. No? I mean, I know the Cubs have a good offense, but I think the run prevention works there. Cubs bullpen is just crumbling.
There is the crux of being an ex-Brewer. I would lose somebody would come to my house and steal all of my Brewers gear if I said, yeah, I'd like to see the Cubs in the playoffs. Said no Brewer fan ever. So it is not a catch-22. It is the last three games of the season. it's time to eliminate the Cubs. Yes, I get it. If you want an easier game in the playoffs, you don't want to see the Cubs. You want to see the Cubs eliminate the Cubs again, just like we've done the last few years, circa 2018 in the game 163, celebrating their clubhouse, beat it, Cubs. And I want to see the Marlins. I don't want to see the Diamondbacks. If somebody gets in, I want to see the Marlins. If it's the Diamondbacks, that pitching staff, the first two, kind of rival the Brew Crew top two. And you got to get through this first round with little amount of games as possible. You want to win the first two games so that you can go into the next series with Freddie P on the mound, game one, which for most teams, that's an ace.
Good luck to the Brew Crew. We will see them in the postseason hosting a home wild card series, and we'll see you next week for the playoff edition of Brew Crew Territory.